one of the important developments this year has been we've really moved past what has been almost a nonsensical debate regarding an apartment glut in Sydney or an oversupply. We clearly can see that the underlying demand for property still remains well ahead of supply. I think this is what we're going to see in the future. Sydney median house prices increased by nearly 80% in the last 5 years. Now, low interest rates, of course, have driven that. We're not going to see the same sort of cut in interest rates into the future that we've had to drive prices. But there's no doubt that the Sydney market will remain undersupplied. It is geographically constrained. It is a magnet for tourists. It's a magnet for those looking for that Sydney lifestyle. And of course, if you're fortunate enough to own property in Sydney and you're moving through the various property stages of your life, you do look to find something smaller and you want something that has all the amenity and the facilities that inner suburban Sydney offers. Well, look, part of the demand exceeding supply in the Sydney market, of course, is we look to those areas that have been underutilised for residential development. Now, the south of Sydney has certainly been a magnet for that redevelopment, and I believe the south of Sydney is developing, quite a unique neighbourhood lifestyle characteristic. Certainly higher density, but I think there's also a mix of density and neighbourhood character. That means it's not just a forest of high-rise. I think it's offering, it's matching the expectations and the desires of Sydney-siders to go up, but in a unique and measured environment, higher density environment. I think that's why we're continuing to see very strong demand south of Sydney, particularly the closer you get to the CBD. I've got a theory that I think that the south side of Sydney will eventually start to look like Manhattan in New York. So it'll really be, pitched, because of all its positives, pitched towards, middle to higher price ranges. And why wouldn't it? The infrastructure there is already established. As I said, we're seeing a positive mix of the styles of developments that are going on there. And as I said, no surprise we're seeing prices rise south of Sydney and particularly in Waterloo. Clearly, off the plan offers you, an accelerated capacity to buy because prices continue to rise. This means you can secure your property without having to be concerned about the choice in the future or perhaps what the price is in the future. So I think off the plan clearly is a way of getting into the market sooner rather than later, and in a market where rents and prices are rising, I think that that's a positive in terms of securing property. And I also think that it's a matter of choice as well, because down the track you don't know what sort of choice you'll have, particularly as demand continues to rise in the Sydney market. And I think that's why off the plan is so popular amongst buyers, and really I don't want to miss out.